Every application running on AWS needs an identity, but should you store AWS access keys inside your application? The answer is no. Let's find out why. Let's begin with a common mistake. Imagine Joey is deploying an application on Amazon EC2. The application needs to read files from Amazon S3. One option is to create an IAM user, generate access keys, and store them inside the application. It works, but it's also a major security risk. Those keys can accidentally end up in source code, configuration files, container images, or even public repositories. And if someone gets those keys, they can use them until they are manually revoked. So the real question becomes, can applications authenticate without storing secrets? AWS says yes. Instead of giving your application an access key, AWS recommends giving the server an identity. You attach an IAM role directly to the EC2 instance. Now, whenever the application needs to access an AWS service, it doesn't use stored credentials. Instead, AWS Security Token Service automatically provides temporary credentials. The application retrieves them securely whenever they are needed. No hard-coded secrets, no manual key rotation, and significantly lower security risk. This is the recommended authentication model for applications running on AWS. There's one important component behind the scenes. An EC2 instance doesn't communicate with an IAM role directly. Instead, AWS uses something called an instance profile. Instance profile is created automatically with same name as the role. Think of it as the bridge between the EC2 instance and the IAM role. The instance profile contains the role and allows the instance to receive temporary credentials automatically. Also remember, there should be one role per profile and one profile per instance. You don't usually interact with it directly, but understanding its purpose is important for both real-world AWS deployments and certification exams. IAM roles aren't just for EC2. Almost every AWS compute service uses the same concept. Lambda functions use execution roles, containers running on ECS or EKS use task roles, AWS Glue, step functions, and many other services also authenticate using IAM roles. The pattern never changes. Applications don't store credentials. AWS provides temporary credentials whenever they are needed. Once you understand this concept, you'll recognize it throughout the AWS ecosystem. Some IAM roles are created automatically by AWS. These are called service-linked roles. Unlike regular roles, you don't create them yourself. AWS creates and manages them because certain services need permission to operate on your behalf. For example, services like auto-scaling or guard duty use service-linked roles internally. The important point to remember is simple. These roles are owned and maintained by AWS, not by you. At first glance, these two role types look similar, but they are used differently. A service role is created by you. You decide its permissions and which service can assume it. A service-linked role, on the other hand, is created and managed automatically by AWS. Its permissions are predefined because they are required for a specific AWS service to function correctly. A simple way to remember this is, if you own the workload, you create the service role. If AWS owns the service, AWS creates the service-linked role. Let's review some common mistakes that every cloud engineer should avoid. Never hard-code AWS access keys inside your application. Never share the same IAM role across unrelated workloads. Avoid granting permissions that are broader than necessary. And never use the AWS root account for applications. Instead, follow the principle of least privilege. Give every workload only the permissions it actually needs and nothing more. Small security decisions like these make a huge difference in production environments. Suppose your EC2 instance suddenly can't access an Amazon S3 bucket. Where should you start? First, verify that an IAM role is attached to the instance. Next, check whether the roles policy includes the required S3 permissions. Then, review the bucket policy for any explicit deny statements. If the objects are encrypted, also verify that the role has permission to use the AWS KMS key. AWS also provides powerful tools to help diagnose these issues. Use the IAM policy simulator to test whether a policy allows or denies a specific action before making changes. Use AWS CloudTrail to trace API calls and identify exactly who made the request and why it was denied. And for Amazon S3, S3 Access Analyzer helps identify permission issues and shows which policies are affecting access. Following this systematic approach and using the right diagnostic tools makes troubleshooting IAM permission problems much faster and more reliable. Let's summarize the key takeaways. Applications should never store long-lived AWS access keys. Instead, they should authenticate using IAM roles and receive temporary credentials automatically. For EC2, this process works through an instance profile and AWS Security Token Service. Remember this simple rule: humans authenticate with identities, applications authenticate with IAM roles. Master this concept and you'll be following one of the most important AWS security best practices.